Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath Lloyd from Make the Change. It's Wednesday evening and it's Let's Talk. And tonight we're continuing on our journey for making a great 2019 for ourselves. And tonight I'm going to be talking about balancing your wheel of life. So how is your wheel of life running for you? Is it a little bit wonky? Is it more than a little bit wonky? Or you're not sure at the moment? Because this exercise I'm going to take you through tonight will help you find that out, as long as you are being totally honest with yourself. So, excuse me, my bits of paper are just falling off my knee here. Okay. So what is the purpose of the Wheel of Life? Well, the Wheel of Life is helping you connect with your values. So we're looking at your secondary values. So these are the big values, things like relationships, family, work, career, fitness. And then a bit later on, you can start looking at what core values you get from those secondary values. And this is a really important exercise to do, to understand what your secondary values are, but also later on to look at what your core values are. Because when you are in times of being indecisive about whether you should take that new job, whether you should end a relationship with somebody, whether you should start seeking for a pay rise and you're unsure about it, then you can call on your core values and your secondary values to help you make that decision. Because what you can do is you can go back and think, well, okay, if I take that job that is a little further away, but it gives me more money, how is that going to impact on your secondary value, say with your family, your relationships? How is that going to fit in with your social life? Doing your fitness, for example, your stress levels, which is really, really important. And so this is, important to understand where you are at today so that you can help yourself further down the line. Now, when you're looking at your balance of life, we're going to really look at it from today. Last week, it might have been totally different because a lot can happen in a week. And you might find that in a month, it might be very different because, again, a lot can happen. You can put into place lots of actions, or things can be thrown at you which will change your concept of how you are thinking and feeling about yourself and about your life. So we're just looking at a snapshot of today. So what I have made, I've actually made some sheets up. So I've been quite busy printing off, doing mirror images and things of everything so that you can have a look. And this is actually going to be part of a 7 steps to a happier, healthier heart and soul that I've also been writing as well. So first of all, it is about having a sheet. Now this is a very traditional life coaching sheet. I use it a lot with my clients, and so will many, many other life coaches as well. But we'll all do it slightly differently. So here you can see we've got a wheel, because we're talking about the wheel of life here. And I really won't use more than 8 segments because otherwise I feel it can get quite complicated. And then for each segment, you've got a little box. Okay, which is where you'll write your strengths in. Okay, now what I suggest is, if you haven't done one of these before, is to do this sort of as your life over a general sort of overview. Later on, if you find it useful, which I'm sure you will do, you can split it up. So you could make it for your personal life, you could make it for your work and career, you could make it for, say, if you're going to run a marathon and you need to think about lots and lots of different things to do with that. And so it can be very, very flexible. So this is really a starting point for, improving how you're feeling about yourself, how you're feeling about what's going on in your life, so that you can get an easy 360-degree view of, you know, what's happening to it or what's happening to your life. Okay, so what I will do actually, I could always put a copy of, what I'll do is I'll scan it and I'll put a copy as a picture onto the bottom of this post, so that you can print it off if you want to. Okay, so then first of all, what you need to do then is to label the different segments, and I've just done it in the boxes. Okay, now you can put anything in there that you want. Okay, so I've done actually what I've done is two different ones. Okay, so I have done relationships, which is going to be friendships, work, romance, diet, finances, relationships to do with family, fitness and leisure. Okay, so this is number one. And then what I want you to do is grade them between 0 and 10. So 0 is it's nothing like you want it whatsoever. It's the worst that it's ever been. Okay, and 10 is it couldn't get any better. It's fantastic, it's perfect, and everything's bright and shiny and wonderful in your life. Okay, so, you know, like I always say, it's about putting your hand on your heart and to be honest with yourself about it, because all of these exercises only work if you can do that, if you can be honest. If you're kidding yourself, why are you bothering? Because you're not really looking in depth at you, you know, to manage your self-improvement, manage your personal development, and wanting something different for yourself. All right. So what I've done on this one, to show you two different ones, I hope you can see it okay. So friendships, for this scenario, I've got as 9. So that's pretty good. Work 7, leisure 10, fitness 7, relationships with family 9, finances 8, diet 5, and romance 7. Okay. Scenario 2, because, you know, I wanted to just show you the difference. All right. So, and I've changed the heading slightly as well on this one. So if you can see it, we've got relationships with friendships 9, work 7, leisure 8, fitness 7, diet 6, health 5, finances 8, and relationships with family as 9. Okay, so to me, that anything from 5 and above is a positive. I would say that 5 is okay, satisfactory. Anything below 5, you know, definitely needs work doing on it. Okay, but we can all improve in every single area. I mean, I'm not saying that if you put a 7 that you don't need, you know, that it isn't an area that you should look at, but, you know, it's perhaps not in such dire need as, say, if you put a 3 or a 4. Okay. But what I'm also saying as well, that say if you've got a 3 or a 2 in one segment, you know, there's going to be a lot of work to undertake. So, you know, as a first action, perhaps it might be better to work on something that's, you know, hasn't got such a big gap, because, you know, improvement in that area will have a knock-on effect to the other areas. All right, so, you know, you don't have to start on the worst one first, but I mean, we can discuss that at another stage. Okay, so then what the second part, or the third part, so to speak, is, and this is, you know, me getting creative, get the colours out, you know, get the coloured pencils out and start colouring in the segments. Okay, now when you start to do this, you will really get to see the structure of your wheel. Yes, you could just draw it in, but it just doesn't give the same impact. Okay, so here we go. So this is it now coloured in. So what you do, so for relationships, friendships, we've got a 9 there, and you've got 10 different rungs to your segment. So you colour in that section, okay, and all the way around. So when you look at this wheel, it's actually quite bumpy, isn't it? When you think, you know, when you discuss it in terms of numbers, it doesn't sound too bad, does it? But when you actually see it coloured in with all the different ups and downs, it's really, really quite dramatic. So here you see we've got diet, which is a 5. Okay, and this person with this scenario is obviously, you know, good at relationship building. Work not so good. Leisure time is pretty good. Okay, so perhaps this person is using leisure time to help build the relationships. Okay, but then other things are slipping by. So fitness, work and diet, and perhaps a little romance isn't quite so good there. Okay, but can you see what I mean about really being able to see clearly how that wheel is going to roll? And if you were to put that wheel on your car, what sort of a journey would you be on? It'd be a pretty bumpy one, pretty off-road, so not a comfortable ride. And this is the thing with looking at your wheel of life, you know, it's connecting it with how comfortable is your ride through life at the moment. All right. And yes, it's about getting things in perspective. But when you sort of take time and once you've done your wheel of life and you really start to look at it, you'll be able to see where the gaps are, where you could improve things, and then start working out the actions that you need to take to really get your wheel running smoothly. Okay. The other scenario, so you can see here, so again, the relationships are pretty good, finance is quite good, work not so great, leisure time good here, but again, health, diet and fitness, all, you know, not quite so good, especially health here. Okay. I mean, it might be something as, you know, being asthmatic, for example. So that could have an effect on, you know, what you're doing fitness-wise. You know, perhaps it's about going and seeing a health professional to get that under control so that you can improve on your fitness levels, which will then improve your health. Okay, so it's, you know, looking at the roundabouts, how things link up and how they can work for you so that you can improve life a lot better. Okay, then the next step is in your boxes. I know the boxes are quite small, but you know, you've got space around there. It's about writing your strengths. So for each area, what is your strength? What are you good at? What do you find easy? Okay, and you know, seeing where you could transfer skills into other areas, because all of our skills are transferable, but sometimes we just don't recognise that. And then of course from there, you know, it's looking at the support structure that you've got, who could give you more support, where could you go and find some more support, and then start you know, using your action planning, perhaps your mind maps, things like that, to really start planning what you want to do about addressing these different areas of your life so that you can improve and get that smooth balance of your wheel rolling beautifully. So if you want to find out more about what I do, find out more about my top 10 tips to keeping yourself sane, then why not go to my website, which is kathloyd.co.uk, and have a look around and see how I can support you with, managing your stresses, your strains, your anxieties, your chitter chatter in your head, and help you to have a brighter day every day. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. Have a great evening, have a great week, and I'll speak to you again next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Bye bye now.